Hi, welcome back to Future Path. And once again, we have Reni John with us. And we're going to talk about future. And for those of you who have missed the previous part of our conversations, I sincerely urge you, please look up. In the first part, she shares the journey. And in the second part, we talk about her business, and which is the Ready Room. And what it does, why, how, everything. It's in that conversation, and you don't want to miss it. Please do go back and check it. And once again, Rennie, thank you so much for being with us at Future Path.
Thank you, Nanjunda, for having me. Let's get our conversation started.
Right. So, what does future mean to you?
Uh, Future means to me definitely a lot of innovation. So we gotta keep up with what we have to do with AI. Like I already mentioned before, we are working on something that is going to be introducing AI into it. We will hopefully be introducing a lot of solutions which will have materials which are generated uh, not from natural resources, but from other resources which have been engineered, but to be as good as the natural resources. So, like for example, the concept of 3D printing, I'm sure you guys would have heard about it, how that came about. And the same way, when we are building on things, we're trying to, give materials which are a lot more long lasting, but are more engineered than the natural resources that we use to make them. That in terms of innovation, and definitely hiring or having team members who are a lot more exposed and a lot more different, because I love hearing what these new ideas with these new brains are out there, because they always come up with something interesting. Definitely incorporating tokenization, I think that's going to happen eventually, because of because of the business that we run is a lot of payments online, which we are already doing. I think barely ever do we ever deal in paper money anymore. Even for our suppliers, we're dealing with online transactions. So I think tokenization with big numbers is definitely going to end up happening. Um, and I think yes, Ready-Room just being on top of the design solution industry. So yeah, that's where we're aiming to be, and I hope that's where the future is going to take us.
Well, one conversation which is very common in anything about living is sustainability. So, how do you see you and your business will be uh, will be pushed or pressurized to employ more sustainable tools and materials uh, in your business going forward? How much of that is going to be an aspect of doing business for you?
When I do my research on what's new and what is out there that is new in the market, I've seen a general kind of thing for sustainability. So a lot more people are pushing sustainability as suppliers, and also as customers, they are looking for sustainable items. They're looking for sustainable materials. So I think we are being pushed in that sense, that you have to find solutions that are sustainable, made from sustainable materials. And we do find solutions from that. So I think that's where we're being pushed at. And also a lot of personal the media has kind of, or rather the public is kind of moving towards where they want to see a inhuman experience of that material, or of using that material, or using that design and everything. So it's a very physical, let's just say, a 5D experience that everyone wants to have. And I think that's what we're being pushed to, is to give a 5D experience to our client, is to give that 5D experience to people who are coming on board, are like, okay, what if I use this material, what does it feel like, what is it going to be, what is it after use, so how can I use it, things like that. So that's where I think is being pushed into, the experience being 5D almost, and also in sustainability, and also like where your personal um impression on those people, or your client or your consumers, is like, okay, can we trust this company or this person who's representing to be able to, sell this to us. So that I think you kind of have to build a relationship. If back in the day you were not building relationships with the company, now it's become more of a personal thing. You really want to build a relationship, not even with the company, with the person who's running the company, because you want to be able to say, okay, hey, can I trust this person, and can I trust their vision to invest in my project with them, or to give them my project, and so on and so forth. So that's what I have seen that we're going to be going into, and that's where everyone's going to be being pushed to. So if you have, I'm sorry to say, a really not impressionable personality, it's going to be tough. You're not going to be able to win everyone over.
Well,
We are in, like, we're doing a podcast right now that is being recorded. So we are in the timeline where everyone wants to watch everything and wants to hear everything and wants to relate to everything. So you kind of you have to be genuinely someone who can do it or who cannot. If you're going to get caught on somewhere,
right. Well, uh, one thing is that everything changes, right? I mean, now there's a significant push for electric vehicles, right?
Yes.
So electric is coming, and there are people talking about hydrogen, how much it works. That's a debate ongoing. And well,
Yes.
we've had some very interesting guests talking about on future fast, and one of them makes a very strong case why hydrogen doesn't work. So anybody interested, please look up that conversation.
Okay.
So from your perspective, uh, what materials that you're using with now will not be in use in times ahead? Maybe 10 years from now, these things are, it's they're already in the end of life. It's just a matter of time before they being dropped.
Well, I think wood is definitely being replaced in many ways. Um, there are different versions that are coming to form as a supplement for wood. Uh, like you have different versions coming off of how you can put like sheets through it and make it as big as wood. A lot of engineering has been going on. A lot of natural stones are being, engineered as well. So like marble, or like you have your things that you would use in your house or your commercial spaces. Flooring. We used to use a lot of porcelain tiles, which was affordable. Nowadays, you can get very different solutions, which is like even a liquid which solidifies. So you don't even need tiles. So there's a lot of innovation that is, I think, the more easier, or the more less stressful, rather, let's just say, the process becomes, I think that's where it's going to go. So if you don't need to buy a lot of stock and import it and this and that and pay for logistics and all of that, you can just buy a liquid and just put it on your floor and let it dry. Would you not just do that? And it looks as good as marble, so why wouldn't anyone do that?
Interesting. So what do you think will not change?
What will not change is, I think, the need for quality and design. I think that's not going to change. I think people who really love art and who love to build a space which is filled with design and quality, that is going to still keep, those materials over there. But yes, their prices are definitely going to stay up, because innovative price practices are going to get cheaper, and the original ones are going to, I think, going to keep their price up in that sense. So that way, I don't think it's going to change that quickly until we see some massive innovation. But art is art, and design is art. So if you want good design, you got to pay for it, basically. But I don't think that's going to change. A good eye will always appreciate quality.
Well, Reni, you are an urban child, right? I mean, if
Yes.
I can say that. And
Yes.
how do you see an urban child? I mean, urban all your life, and uh, born and brought up in a global city with
Yes.
diaspora coming out of how many countries you said? 200 plus or
220
100
plus.
plus? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty much the
Yeah.
whole world, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, so, uh, so how much of your sensibility of aesthetics being influenced in that sense, the touch points of different nationalities, and also the Dubai, which is to many a people, it's a castle in the cloud, right? It's a
Yes.
sand palace, right?
Yes.
Of
Yes.
so uh, how much of your influences are these, and how do you associate with other places that you've traveled, or even if you have visited Pakistan, or when you visited India, when you visited Europe, or any other parts? How do you see the
Mm.
conflict of those sensibilities?
Uh, if I'm trying to understand right, you're just asking me how I peg Dubai and the society and the lifestyle to others. Is it?
From a point of aesthetic, from a sense of aesthetic.
Aesthetically. Okay. Um, of course, I've been to Italy. So that's like one of the grounds for design, color, art. Um,
Probably whatever you saw
France.
was 500, 700 years old, right?
Yeah, so you see a lot
400,
of
300,
historic,
400,
you see a
500
lot of
years old.
cultural stuff.
Right.
Dubai, a lot of people will say is a cement city because there's so much development going on. There's construction everywhere, and you don't see a lot of cultural stuff over here. Also, mind you, Dubai is a very young country. It's
Correct.
only
Probably the
50,
oldest building you have seen is what, 40, 50 years old in Dubai?
maybe. Yeah, maybe. And we still haven't even got to that stage of like, it being a heritage site or something like that at this point.
Oh,
So
there
we
is,
don't
right?
have.
I think there is I remember going to the Dubai village where there is some heritage site some years ago
They
where,
have heritage, but is it going? I don't know if it's going to be a UNESCO heritage site at any point.
yeah, yeah, but more like just to connect with what was,
Yeah, just to connect
like,
with culture, you would know that this is it, and you would see their culture. Um, you see, like growing up in Dubai, of course, you see the culture just because you live here. You know what it is. You know how they dress. You know how they greet. What is the etiquette over here? How do run around, or how do you interact with people over here?
but also
Especially.
that because of petrodollar, everything is big, right? Those small walk spaces are huge. I mean, like 100
Yeah.
people can walk together in a corridor.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you grew up with all of that, and then you end up going to, for example, Pakistan, and it doesn't have that facility, or it doesn't have that innovation. And
Which part of Pakistan
you,
are you most familiar with?
I'm more familiar with Karachi and Lahore,
Karachi. Okay. Okay.
uh, but even Lahore being more developed, and it's on top of the trends over there, but still it's not Dubai. It's not ever going to be Dubai. It's
No, but
never going to.
they have a large history, right? Lahore
That's what I
was
was going
the
to say. So it has.
capital of Punjab Kingdom,
Correct. So
pre-independence,
it
and
it has beautiful culture. It has beautiful. I would even say the economy over there flourishes on, like, the materials that they produce, the cotton, and whatever, I don't know, stone or something else they produce over there, which I have seen is beautiful over there. You cannot beat that quality. The best kind of cotton is grown over there that comes out of Pakistan, which a lot of people use for bed linens. Even the footballs are made over there. Did you know that footballs for FIFA are made over there? So those
yes,
kind of materials, that those innovations are there, and they're good at that because they grow that. Here in the UAE, I don't think we have that much agriculture that supports that kind of stuff. But on the other spectrum, we have everything that's the biggest and the best, and it's a safe haven for people to come and live here and to put their roots into it. It has its pros and cons, in that you can see. And did I get a culture shock even when I went to the UK? When I was in London, and I was just like, okay, this cannot just be the city. Where is all the big and the foof and the fa? And obviously, I was very young at the time. It's different. It's not the same. The houses are smaller. They don't have central air conditioning everywhere you go. And it just doesn't have the benefits as you grew up as within Dubai. It's like, even there's no food delivery, for example, after 6 p.m. There was no food delivery, I think, when I was there last time, living there. And you have to walk to the shop to get everything. And here, everything is on your phone. You just order it and it's in your house. So it's got its different, things that you can appreciate. Um, but I think it's a life you choose. Do you want to be someone who nowadays a lot of people are living in the forest? They want to cut off from the cement city. They want to leave their businesses and they just want to live in a trailer park somewhere, I don't know, in the forest and just be,
Oh yeah, no,
doing.
Reni, I was trying to ask from the sense of aesthetic, right? Even London, you go on the
Yes.
streets of London, or you go for that London bus tour. The
Yeah.
building to your left is 450 years old, and somebody whom you study in history lived there
Yeah.
250 years ago. And
Okay, I'm an art buff and I love history. It was one of my favorite things to do in university as well. And I think I did so many courses just because I enjoyed the thing so much. I wanted to learn a lot more.
yeah,
So for a
so
person like me,
how do you connect that aesthetic sense of all these things, and how do you balance it out, or do you miss that part out in Dubai?
you
Because
definitely
here,
miss that part out in Dubai. I mean, the culture of it, like the rawness of art and the rawness of materials, you do definitely miss out on that. And history, that you see something that was written in the books of something like the 15th century or the 16th century or something like that. You definitely miss out on that. And I think that's a good perspective to have because you can appreciate things for what they are. Dubai, I think, however, is on a different spectrum of things. Like, yes, you will get the best of art. There are beautiful art galleries here. It'll bring some artists over here. Um, and you just have to see it's a melting pot of cultures that it brings together.
so how do
And
you
that's
see
what
the
it is.
future in this sense? What aesthetic sensibility you see will be significantly influencing in the future?
I think we're going to see a lot of nationalities coming here and setting base. Like, for example, we have the whole Chinese market here, right? And they have set up their own malls and centers where they only have Chinese suppliers from China. India is now setting up another one, which is going to be the Indian market. So they're going
All
to be
right.
setting up a whole market over here, which is going to have only Indian suppliers of materials and so on and so forth. And I think that's where the future is going to go. Is you're going to see a lot of these big um, uh, economies and that support factories and they support agriculture and they support these productions to come and base themselves here. So it gives an opportunity for the 220 plus nationalities here to get access, very easy access to these suppliers in physical form. Because like I said, everything needs to be physical nowadays. Everyone wants to see it and feel it and touch it and whatever it is. So this is going to be a platform that is going to promote that.
So, Reni, we move to predictions. What would you like to predict?
Predictions for like the interior design industry or predictions
Eh,
for
eh, okay, interior. Okay.
interior design industry. I think we're going to see a lot of innovation coming up, a ton of innovation coming up, and it is already here. It is just about for the right company to introduce it to their clients. A lot of them are very stuck in their ways and they don't want to budge from that innovation, but there's going to be a time where that kind of stuff is going to get super expensive and you have to go with the innovative product to be able to meet the affordability. And that's where I see the market is going to be going. And now we're going to have so many suppliers coming in. There's also been the latest one I saw was from something from Sweden, and it was a beautiful product, such a simple design, yet so effective. So and at a very affordable price point. So we're going to see a lot of these kind of suppliers coming into the market. The big ones obviously are going to do the masses, and then you'll have these small ones who are coming up with super innovation. They're going to be standing out in design.
And uh, uh, any prediction outside of your business, outside of interior business that you want to talk about? Anything? Uh, like
Sorry,
I think
can you repeat that?
uh, no, like you had mentioned in our conversation before uh, before once earlier we spoke, that you mentioned that perhaps UAE will allow residencies, permanent residencies, or something like that. I mean,
That's
something outside of your business.
I'm hoping they do, because guess what? I was born here, so and I run a business here. I studied here. I pay the taxes here for, like, of course, we have corporate taxation and VAT. But I hope they do. I really hope they do. I think, genuine people. I'm not going to say it's just only me. I know so many people out here who were born here and who have genuinely grown with the city and have grown in the city of Dubai and UAE. I think, I hope we get a chance to be a part of the country's nationals, and, be able to add further more than we already are to the city and its growth.
Okay, I know that was more like a wish statement than a prediction, but is there anything else, or that's fine? I mean, that's a
Prediction. Okay, yeah, go on. Go on.
from you.
Another prediction for the UAE. I don't know
Do you
what
do you
else I
think
could say. I think
Saudi Arabia will overtake Dubai from being the center of this business, global business that Dubai uh, has been building on for last few decades? Now that Saudi Arabia is opening up and with so rich, so
yeah.
flush with cash, do you think they will take over Dubai?
Saudi is a huge country, so that I think the sheer size of it is just massive compared to the UAE. But I think the UAE, what they have, and even though they've been a small country, and why they've thrived so far, is that they've always been good on innovation, and they've always been good on being the first at everything, or the biggest and the best at everything. They go 150% to where people go 100% into something. So I think they're going to still have their own niches, and Dubai is going to, and UAE is going to keep striding on. There's so much more that, that meets the eye with this country.
So you don't think Saudi will overtake UAE? I mean,
I'm going to be a
fair
little
enough.
bit,
Perfect.
I'm going to be a bit partial and biased over here.
It's okay
But
to be. It's okay to be.
I mean, I don't want to say that it's probably not, but I don't think in terms like I said, I think I still stand that Dubai has a lot to offer. That Saudi may not have it right now, or maybe in the future. I don't know what they're going to do, but Dubai has a ton to offer.
Wonderful. And any closing remark before we conclude this
No,
part?
thank you. Thank you very much, Nanjunda. This has been such a pleasant conversation with you, and you have some really interesting questions, a little bit diabolical, but yeah, they were good to answer. But I hope I was interesting enough for everyone, and hopefully we can do this again.
Wonderful. Thank you. And do follow Reni and her work. And do share this conversation with all those you think who will appreciate it. And thank you for following Future Fast. And if you have not yet subscribed to Future Fast, do it now and come back soon for more interesting conversation. And once again, Reni, thank you so much for being part of Future Fast.
Thank you, Nanjunda. Speak to you soon. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.